Karl, we got to hang out. We went to North Carolina, Jack and I, and we helped host the Mr.Beast
Creator Games.
Number 2. And it was trivia this time around.
Yep.
And that was the first time actually meeting Karl. And I've watched Mr.Beast videos before, and I've seen you, but I've never really gotten to interact with you.
Yeah.
And what I like to tell what I told my girlfriend and what I tell a lot of my friends offline, I felt like I was hanging out with my friends from high school. Like, you guys were all just so welcoming, and it was easy to just fit in.
Yeah, I feel like we really, like, immediately just hit it off, right?
100%. And what I love so much about you being in LA and actually getting to sit down and talk with you over food last night was how you really got your start with Mr.Beast. And I'm sure you've talked about it publicly before.
Not really, honestly.
This for me, guys,
exclusive.
This is kind of like those opportunities that a lot of people reach out to me about, like, how do I get my foot in the door in this industry? And I'm not going to take away from your story. I want you to tell it. How did you get your start at Mr.Beast, and how did it turn into what it is today?
Yeah. So I knew somebody that worked at Mr.Beast, and I knew at the time their editing team was kind of lacking, right? So I went to school for video production. I wanted to be an editor. So I kind of just kept pushing to try to, like, I was like, just, I'll do whatever you want. Like,
just give me an opportunity.
Yeah, just give me like a foot in the door to have an interview. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my friend said, yeah, come visit. Stay at my house for a week. You can probably get an interview, and we'll see what happens, right? That was during my last quarter of college. And I knew that if I'd go, I was going to have to redo that whole, like, semester. You know what I mean? But I was just like, I'm not going to just pass it up. So I go, and the day I get there, the manager that was supposed to get me a position got fired.
Damn.
The toughest of scenes.
I was like, so I'm going to have to redo my semester, and I'm not even getting this interview. You know what I mean?
No.
Jesus.
But then they were like, oh, but, Jimmy's brother is trying to start a channel. They don't have an editor yet. Like, it's not, like, any for sure at all. They just have, like, it was just a concept back then.
Yeah.
But they were like, but you can't, like, go back home. Like, we need you to start now if you're to do it. So I went to North Carolina with a week's worth of clothing, and I ended up just moving there from that.
Damn.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is
What a great
amazing.
story.
Yeah.
Dude.
So then I started editing for Mr. Bro, and then from editing, I started being lead camera, and then directing, and then they threw me in a video. And then we kind of, like, merged the two companies, Mr. Bro and Mr. Beast, for a little bit to go really hard for quarter 4. So I started editing for Mr. Beast, and that's kind of when I got in with everybody and, like, made my way.
So
Crazy.
did you grow up watching a ton of YouTube, and do you think that was a strength for, like,
100%.
the interview process? Or because I would imagine after you started working with the staff and, lead camera, and then it just continued to evolve, did Mr.Beast, did Jimmy see that, like, you just knew the setting that you needed to be in and how to point the camera and the editing style?
Well, here's the best part. I think starting out as an editor is easily the best, in my opinion, because when you're an editor, you see where everybody makes mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was why that's why I performed so well whenever I finally got a chance to be on screen, is because I edited at that point 10 main channel videos.
Yeah.
And I had seen, okay, when they say this, that doesn't make it in. You know what I mean? And when they act like this, that doesn't make it in. That was too long-winded. That didn't make it in. So, like, I kind of knew what wouldn't make it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So is that what you're?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. No, I was just more fascinated. I think, like I said before, just getting your foot in the door is the hardest part.
Yeah,
and
100%.
really seizing the opportunity, which you did, is even harder. But I just was curious how you fit in and how you made that jump to actually being on camera.
Believe it or I think the jump happens, and people aren't going to believe me, but, like, I just don't think, I'm sure you guys have this experience, especially hiring and stuff. Nobody actually works hard. I feel like there's not many people that actually work hard. You know what I mean? And when you find people that work hard, you want to keep pushing them up and up.
Yeah, that's my
100
point.
Thieves works hard.
Well, no, the problem is these production guys, when the podcast starts, they all sit in here in silence and just look at us. They're like, what are you really doing?
He's going looking at
No, I didn't mean it like that. I meant I more meant it's hard to find a good hire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Especially
so whenever
in the YouTube world, because it's so nuanced.
Exactly. And when you find one, you want to just, like, wherever the best fit is, that's where you want to put them. You know what I mean? And I think I just proved that I wasn't just talking about working hard. Like, I was actually just wanting to work hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we talked about some of your work ethic and what you're doing.
This guy doesn't sleep.
No.
He doesn't. And you need your sleep. You know how important sleep is.
You absolutely need your sleep, Karl.
I can't get over that, man. Like, This is the shit. I just want to reiterate one last time. This man was in his last semester of college, living in New York. 5 weeks left. Knew how important that interview was. Flew down to North Carolina with a week's worth of clothes. They said, we need you to start right now. Did not go back to New York and just cut off all ties to like his entire life just to start a new job in hopes of turning into something bigger.
Get the
and
opportunity.
He did it. And now you've got over 100,000 people watching you on a live concurrent stream. That is unfucking believable.
It's insane.
That's unreal.